Welcome to Justin's Take, live from the Media Hub on riotradio.ca. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Today, behind the scenes, we have Megan. Megan, thank you so much for being here. And as you guys know, Justin's Take is your show all about the maybe Star Wars, Marvel, maybe. Nah, I'm kidding. Obviously, we talk about sports around here. You know, we just finished a nice World Cup season, but we got to shift the attention, full focus. Well, I don't know who or what we're going to talk about today, but I think shout out Flight Reacts because we got to talk about LeBron. Oh my God, bro. I am so like, I don't even know how to feel with this move. We already know what we're talking about today, guys. I'm not going to come in here as like a Lakers fan. I'm honestly, I didn't realize I had this many Lakers jerseys, but these are all LeBron. And I was like, you know what? We might be done with LeBron after today. You never know. So just getting into it straight away, LeBron has found a new team. And I don't know if this was expected, if anybody thought that this would be the move. I for sure did not think he was going to go here for many different reasons, including legacy. But we know LeBron James has chosen the Philadelphia 76ers. Yuck. This is terrible. Oh my God. Why? Why are you doing this to me, LeBron? Why are you going to be in Philly? Of all the teams, of all the cities, of all the like super teams you want to join and make and this and that, this really hurts, man, because I always defended you. I still think Jordan's better, but oh man, I was not expecting La Philly to be a thing. I was not expecting it to go down this way. And I didn't think that LeBron James would join the Philadelphia 76ers, who, I mean, we'll get into their lineup later, but we know who they have. And this is like, I'm trying to like, I'm not trying to put on an act. Sorry, I'm not trying to like do a Stephen A. Smith and be like, what? This, brother, is crazy. Like, no. I'm just going to be real. As a LeBron fan, I did not want this to happen, okay? There were so many other options. There were so many things on the table. There were so many possible outcomes, so many different multiverses with this, multiverses with that. But instead, in this one, on our Earth, on Earth 1, we got LeBron probably going to finish his career in Philadelphia. So let's talk about it. Now, just ripping off the Band-Aid because we're going to go down memory lane. LeBron, you declined a reunion with your formers, both the Cavs and the Heat. But let's dive into it. Let's start with the Heat. Now, you could have went back. Look at you. Number 6 in the finals, black headband, peak LeBron era. You could have went back to South Beach. You could have joined up with Giannis and Bam Adebayo. You could have went back to Spoelstra, back with Pat Riley, and you could have been there. I heard your wife wanted to go back to South Beach. I heard you didn't want to do it, and you could have been in a position where, LeBron, you are here. You are back. You are going to be the Miami Heat again. And I think when I think about the Miami Heat deal back in 2012, and we're going to talk about that later, it was so like, I'm not going to say wrong, but let's call it wrong. You joined up with Bosch and Wade, and you eventually got Ray Allen, and Birdman was there, and Chalmers, and all these guys, man. Shane Battier, shout out Duke. But this time, it would have felt poetic. It would have felt good to see LeBron go back to South Beach. He obviously would have had another big three. You know, back in the day, they got Wade and Bosch with LeBron. This time, they would have had Bam Adebayo and, of course, Giannis. Giannis Antetokounmpo, that is. But you don't want to go back. You want to string them along. You don't want to, like, not saying string them along, but you want to have your agent, Rich Paul, who I like, but I'm going to diss him for a second, have all the antics and the this and the that and the whiteboard and the cross-offs here and the cross-offs there and the this and the calls. And you don't go back to Miami? Really? Really? Like, come on, bro. Like, is this a WWE segment with R-Truth and The Miz? Like, really? But I digress. Shout out The Miz, because we're now going to talk about his team, his very own Cleveland Cavaliers, because you also declined a chance to go back to Cleveland. So much for Cleveland. This is for you. Bro, good on Braun for being Akron, Ohio's GOAT, but you are not Cleveland's GOAT, bro. Donovan Mitchell and James Harden just had the first seed. They made it to the conference finals, did not make it to the finals, unfortunately. And James Harden said, you know what? I'm going to put off my contract extension so we could have the best shot at giving LeBron a deal that he wants to come back and play for Cleveland. You abandoned them in 2007. You abandoned them in 2019, sorry. And you had a chance to go back. And Donovan Mitchell, to me, and I've seen Cavs fans online say this as well, has had more love for Cleveland, it feels like, than LeBron James. What are we doing here? And I think, I hate to say it, because I'm not a Cavs fan, but I hate that you didn't go back to Cleveland. You could have actually done something proper this time. You could have said, you know what, I will go back to Cleveland this time. I'm not going to go to them and make them form a super team. They are an established, legit unit now. They got, like I said, they got James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley. They got Max Strus is on that team. I think they had Dean Wade, I think, at some point. I don't know if that's true, actually. Don't quote me on that. But they had a squad. They had a solid team. And you're gonna string them along as well. You're gonna see these guys publicly say that we want you to come back, and you're gonna do that to them. Okay, bridges are burnt. And finally, the Lakers. Let's talk about it. Okay, Ric Flair, drip, go, woo on the Lakers, bro. You joined Kobe's team and got rid of everybody. You got rid of Randall, Swaggy P, all these guys to get what you wanted, which was AD. And after times got tough, you know, you wanted to complain, you wanted to sit out, you wanted to hire whatever head coach you wanted, you wanted to do a podcast with JJ Redick, and so much so, you made the league, not just the team, you put the league on hold so you could get the Lakers to draft your own son, Bronny James. Now, I think the Lakers owe LeBron nothing. The Lakers gave this guy Anthony Davis, they gave him Luka Doncic, and they gave him Bronny. We got this brother's own son is playing on the Lakers. And what do you do to the Lakers? As soon as Bronny, who will pull up his photo now, as soon as this guy's contract becomes guaranteed and he will get his money, the day later you announce that you are leaving the Lakers. Come on, man. Like, LeBron, what are we doing here? Like, there is nothing I could say to defend you right now. And it's so unfortunate because you got everything you wanted from LA. You got the teammates, you got your son, you got the money, you got the city, you got the arena, you got Kobe's. Oh my God, almost cussed. You got Kobe's city, you got Shaq's city, you got the franchise of the NBA. And despite everything that they did, you couldn't have given them the courtesy of staying. We could get this brother Bronny off the TV because now we got to talk about the Snowtime Lakers, not the Showtime, the Snowtime. And this isn't me saying that name. That's what these guys call themselves. You got Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves as one of the best duos that we are seeing in the NBA. And you're just gonna like leave? Like, come on, man. Like, just when you're doing something right, you don't even have a super team. You have two really good teammates. You're trying to build up your roster, and you don't even stay here after they got your son. Like, oh my days. There's nothing I could say. And the fact of the matter is that he did not leave for a team that I like, that I respect. He didn't leave for fans that are liked and respected in the league. You left the Lakers for Philadelphia? What? Like, oh my God. We're gonna lock in now because we're gonna talk about the team that he's joining, because as everyone knows, LeBron James is a ring chaser. That's what everyone says, and he's a super team guy and this and that. Well, before anyone says anything, we have the statistics, the stats. Numbers do not lie. Let's pull up this starting five that he is joining. So we have the Philadelphia 76ers with Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Jaylen Brown, and Joel Embiid. Like, they assembled that lineup before LeBron got there. If we could actually leave that up for a quick second. Oh my God, let me read these stats that we have in front. Starting at the top with Maxey. Last season, he averaged 28 points a game to go with 4 boards and 6.5 assists on 46% shooting from the field and 36% from 3. Okay, VJ Edgecombe, who was a rookie last year, had a very solid rookie campaign with 16 points, 5 boards, 4 assists on 44 and 35. Very good for VJ. But let's go to Jaylen Brown. Oh my days. In the absence of Jason Tatum, he led the Boston Celtics, and he said this was his favorite year ever. I wonder why. Maybe because Jaylen Brown averaged 29 a game. He was averaging 28.7 points a game to go with 6.9 rebounds, 5.1 assists on 47.7% from the field and 35% from 3. Stupid numbers. Jaylen Brown was an MVP candidate. And finally, Joel Embiid, one of the most gifted players we have ever seen had another injury-ridden season, but still managed to average 27 a game to go with 7 rebounds and 4 assists on 49% from the field and 33.3% from 3. Wow, that was a lot of threes in a row. I don't condemn that. And finally, of course, LeBron, his main stats. 20 a game to go 26 and 7 on 51 and 31. That's a good split. Another good year for LeBron. Wow, let's talk about it, because this is what we're gonna do. Why? Like, why? Why, LeBron? Why are you joining another super team, an established team, an on-the-rise team? This is Joel Embiid's team, and you want to come in and make this about you, and you want to do the decision 2.0, 3.0, this and that. Oh my God, I'm going to just calm down a little bit here, because this is what kills me, is that good for Philly, good for Joel Embiid, good for the rest of them, because they finessed Boston and got Jaylen Brown. That's a great trade for them. That's a you know what? I'm going to clap. That's a fantastic trade that they were able to get JB. MVP candidate JB. Finals MVP JB. NBA champion Jaylen Brown is who they got. Great job by that GM. But you mean to tell me that LeBron waited for them to be the championship favorites out of the East before you joined them, and now you're going to join them? I'm lost for words, man. I'm lost for words. And like, one thing too, and this is what also kills me, because on the topic of JB, who I like Jaylen Brown. LeBron, what did JB say about your son again? If we could pull this up, what did he say? Oh, right. He said, honestly, I don't think Bronny is a pro. And you responded by calling him out in a press conference and said this: our relationship is respectful, besides that blank he said about Bronny at the Summer League. How do you not, like, I don't care, bro. If someone said that about my boy, I'm scrapping. How do you even join a team that has that brother on it, that was telling IG models courtside, yeah, you see that man Bronny, he ain't a pro, and you're gonna join him? Oh my days, go to like the Raptors or the Knicks and do anything you can to beat him, let alone join him. What are we doing, man? What are we doing? This is one of the most emotional episodes I will ever do on air, because as a LeBron fan, I am disappointed. There is nothing worse that I could say about this. As we check my... Oh man, sorry, there is something worse. There is something worse. Because for once in your life, you had the option to join another superstar. And the league wanted it. The fans wanted this. The fans of everybody, of every fandom, of every whatever you want to call it. It was the first time in your career that you could have taken the weak move and everyone would have accepted it. You could have joined the Golden State Warriors and teamed up with Steph. Chef, look at Curry, man. Draymond, Irish Spring, green. You know the vibes. I've done it before. You're going to snub the Golden State Warriors? These guys were like, yo, we should get LeBron and team up with Curry. That would have been amazing. And these guys put BTA to you for 3 finals as well. And we still would have accepted this. We still would have said, you know what? It would have been cool to see LeBron and Curry play. And you just left Curry in the dust, because just like his reaction in this photo, that was me reading that you joined the Philadelphia 76ers. Wow, man, can this episode get any worse for me? Can the takes get worse? Because, oh my God, you had so many options. And just like Curry in this one, I am perplexed that you wanted to go. Like, I'm not going to do a lost and unbound, okay? I'm not ripping any of these jerseys. I paid not that good money for them. I got this jaunt on sale from Lids, and that one on sale from Lids. So this would only run me like $50 total, but I'm not ripping them. I'm not doing an LNU on air. That would have been funny though. But point being, how could you do this, LeBron? I gotta just like say it, like, oh my God. What's crazy about these episodes that I do is that I always like to put emotion to the side, but put emotion to the side from the point of view of no one wants to see me geek out and crash out or like mark out or do any of this with topics. I could geek out over like Smallville or like the World Cup or like Batman or Superman or anything like that. But it's always good to be clear and concise. It's always good to express, or it's always good for me, to express what I want to say in a more like professional manner. Getting the points across, not just screaming, not just like making jokes, not this and that. But no, there is like, I'm so sorry, bro. I have never been more disappointed in my GOAT. He's no longer my GOAT after this. This is done. I am done from LeBron. I'm retiring. I'm leaving LeBron FC. LeBron FC, this is my official on-air resignation. Sorry, I'm done. I'm not supporting Philadelphia. I'm not supporting LeBron. I hope the Knicks beat them in 6. I can't call myself a basketball fan with morals if I am going to support this blasphemy that LeBron James has done by rejecting the Heat, rejecting the Cavs, rejecting Curry and the Warriors, by joining the 76ers. No, I am done. My LeBron FC fandom ends today. When he retires, we'll have this conversation in like 3 years, and maybe, just maybe, LeBron won't be the one that saves me, but we can have this conversation again. I'm mad. I'm hurt. But let's move on. Because now we have okay, now guys, the emotional part of the episode's gone. We're going to talk about the Philadelphia 76ers and their expectations, as well as some matchups that I want to see, some matchups that I think could be good for LeBron and the Sixers, as well as matchups that would be really good for the fans. And beyond that, we are going to talk about how LeBron stacks up against other all-time legends in regards to ring hopping, ring chasing, teams played for, teams not, and so on and so forth. So let's start with Philadelphia. Is it championship or bust? And to me, yes. They haven't won a championship in a brick, as we see here. And I do think it is championship or bust. And I'm not trying to set an unrealistic expectation. However, I think before LeBron got there, it was to recreate this championship or bust, to get that ring back in Philly. But now that he's there, yeah, no, if they don't win a championship, that's going to really hinder a lot of people. LeBron, Joel Embiid mainly. And I think JB kind of gets a pass. But I think it is championship or bust for the Philadelphia 76ers. When you look at the East objectively, it's more level than it was last year. Like, I think the Knicks and the Cavs are still very solid guys, very solid teams, but then Boston just gets worse. Philly gets better, so they kind of even out there. We're going to talk about them soon, but the Raptors are also in that mix as well. And I think the Wizards, I don't think they're going to do anything crazy, but hey, that's a solid team. So I think the Sixers, with or without Braun, would say the same thing as me about this rendition of the East and say, well, we got Embiid, now we got JB, we got Maxey and Edgecombe. Let's do it, man. Like, I think this is the best. And now you add LeBron. Yeah, it is championship or bust. And again, I'm not going to put that on them to put pressure, to put unrealistic expectations and whatnot. I think a lot of people would agree with that. Like, if they don't win a chip in the next 2 years, this was a massive failure. And I don't think it's a failure on the scale of like, oh man, it's okay that like LeBron tried and da-da-da. Like, I read the stats. Like, I read those statistics. That team is insane without him. So with that being said, I do think it is championship or bust for LeBron, for Philly. And what's going to happen there? Well, we're going to talk about some of the matchups. Now, this first one I wanted to get it out of the way. Take a sip of the Laheni. But matchup number 1, Scotty Barnes, Kawhi Leonard, the Toronto Raptors. Now, Philly's biggest kryptonite is obviously Kawhi Leonard, you know, that Game 7 shot. Amazing. Just so good. Game series, Toronto has won. But the reason why this is the first matchup I want to discuss is because while this is up, we don't know if the Raptors are actually getting Kawhi. Now, if we're going to be honest, I'm a Raptors fan, but our team of Kawhi, Scotty Barnes, Barrett, Quickly, and throw in like whoever else you want to throw in that, I'm saying is a really solid squad. Like CMB's in there too. Like really solid defensive team. And I think they would be a very interesting matchup for the Sixers on the defensive side of the ball. I'm not going to say that we are better on offense, but wow. The Philadelphia 76ers, I think last year in the playoffs, their defensive rating was, I think, 14th out of the 16 playoff teams, if I'm not mistaken. So we are significantly better than them at defense. And adding LeBron is not going to help that. So I think on offense, we might be in a situation where we will just outscore the Philadelphia 76ers because we're going to put the clamps on them. And then in turn, the Sixers have horrible defense. Like, it's not good. Like, again, out of all the playoff teams, they were, I think, the 14th ranked. So the third worst. So I'm going to say that'll be an interesting one. Now, next matchup we have here, because we don't know if Kawhi's coming. So let's talk about what we know. And what we know is that there is someone in Boston who in the past has put LeBron on a poster. But this time he doesn't have his running mates. He doesn't have Kyrie or JB. But we got to talk about matchup number 2. We got the one and only, if we pull this up, Jason Tatum, let's go. If they say photos, you can't hear photos, but I can, because this is definitely Tatum. Drives down and throws it down. Wow. Oh my God. And then he did that at TD Garden right on LeBron. I watched that game with my mom. Tatum has the Kyrie 4s on. LeBron has the LeBron 15s on. So good. So good. But let's stick with this, though. I think this matchup is interesting for Philly because they definitely have such a rivalry with the Celtics, of course. Embiid has that iconic quote where it's like, it's not a rivalry because they just beat our blank every time. And I think when you look at Jason Tatum, you mean to tell me that Jason Tatum has a chance to face one of his idols again, but this time he's playing for Philly? The Ops? Like, there's no exception there. There's no Paramore, Haley Williams, you are the only exception. Like, no, this is going to be a fun one if Boston are able to compete because they have playoff Paul George, and I don't know how he's going to look. He didn't have that good of a year last year, if we're going to be honest, and Tatum's coming off of a really big ACL injury, so we'll see what happens. Tatum did make his return last year, but then he ended up getting shut down in the Philadelphia series. So I don't really know. I don't really know what to expect, and I say this in a good way for everybody involved because I just seriously don't know what this is going to entail for Boston. And now the final matchup, the matchup that I want to see, the matchup that everybody wants to see, because it don't matter. It don't matter. Knicks in 5. It doesn't matter if you get LeBron. It doesn't matter if you get Dwayne Wade. I'm not going to say the man above like Jay-Z, but yeah, Knicks in 5. I want to see the Knicks take on this team. Give this to me in the conference finals. Let them walk in as the 1 and 2 seed. Karl-Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby. You got Josh Hart. You got everybody, man. Like, give me this Knicks team with Alvarado and Bridges and everybody, because it is everybody. When I say everybody, I don't mean players. I mean the city. I mean, give me New York. Give me New York to take down Philadelphia. That's what I want so bad. And I think this would be the matchup. I want to see this. I think everybody in the East that doesn't support their own team, so if we're going to put our blind eyes away, everybody wants this matchup, and I think this is the matchup. Give us these guys as the 1 and 2, and let's do it. I want the Knicks to beat the Philadelphia 76ers so bad, and I want them to get back to that finals at the expense of LeBron. So, yeah, that's my main matchup points here. I think these are really good matchups for fans, if I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm not saying these are matchups where LeBron and co are going to lose or like maybe they're going to win. I just think this would be really good basketball. Obviously, it goes without saying, we're going to throw in the Heat and the Cavs within that, just because we talked about them earlier. I didn't need to do a whole segment, but it would be really cool if we got LeBron getting booed in Miami again and Cleveland booing him. I'm just going to be honest, that would be cool. And God forbid the Lakers and Philadelphia 76ers are the NBA championship next year, because that's not what I want. We're not having that as the finals. But I do think it will be cool if we could see Cleveland or Miami take down Philly as well. But before I go into the next part, will there be any further moves? Now, I don't know. I would assume yes, because they need defense. Like, I think they signed Dean Wade, and I think they need to add probably another defender, but I don't know what they're going to do because they don't have a lot of picks, to my knowledge. And I would just assume they'd have to get rid of guys. I saw one guy on First Take suggest that in the wacky world of trades, you get rid of Joel Embiid and you stack your defense. And I was like this is water. Was that Patron? Like, what were we sipping on that morning? I don't think you trade Joel Embiid for, I was going to say for Michael Jordan, but yeah, I'll stand on that. Joel Embiid, as much as I don't like Philly and like him, he is Philadelphia. If they're ever going to win, while he's an active player, he should be the first guy on that team. He should be the guy that holds the championship. He should be the guy that writes his name on it. Because again, as much as I love him, trust the process. He is Philadelphia. And I don't think there's a world where the Philadelphia 76ers, especially with LeBron, win the championship without Joel Embiid. And I'll put my bias aside for that. So we're going to move on now to how does this affect LeBron's legacy? You know, not a meme, or a joke. It's a serious cry for help. How does this affect LeBron's legacy? Well, we kind of heard how it affects his legacy to me, and he's not really my GOAT no more. I'm not going to lie. So we're going to do a couple things. We're going to discuss LeBron's past. We're just going to discuss some reactions, and we're going to discuss how this matches up with other sports as well and other superstars. So without further ado, let's go. Super team number 1. What was that again? Oh, right. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, because you took your talents to South Beach and you joined Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. And you made it to 4 straight finals. You won 2. You got packed up by JJ Barea and Dirk. Unfortunately, got packed up by Kawhi because I will be honest, I wanted the Heat to win all 4. My dad's favorite player is Dwayne Wade, and that he has that jersey, or the reverse one, I should say. So, and obviously Chris Bosh, man, Raptors legend. His shoulders in that. Wow, man, I'm trying to get my shoulders like his. And I think Chris Bosh going there was so cool for me because I'm like, damn, bro, Chris Bosh and D Wade, this is sick. And then LeBron joins, right? That's the reoccurring theme here. LeBron then joins Miami. You not only formed the super team of all super teams because bun the Boston Celtics from the previous years. Good, you put BTA to them. I feel like you guys underachieved. You guys only won 2 out of 4 and got packed up at the start and the end. Sure, you beat 23-year-old KD and 21-year-old Russ and 20-year-old James Harden, but your best ring is James catches, puts up a 3, won't go. Rebound, Bosh. Back out to Allen, his 3-pointer, bang. Like, dude, that was a great series, man. And you guys, hats off. Second super team now. Wow. So you go back to Cleveland. Now they have the young gun, Kyrie Irving. They draft Andrew Wiggins first overall and flip him to Minnesota for Kevin Love. You got J.R. Smith, Richard Jefferson along those ways. You got Dwayne Wade on this squad as well, not with these guys, but, you know, in the franchise. D. Rose was there. Isaiah Thomas was there at one point. Like, Cleveland was really the embodiment of Le GM. And I'm not trying to downplay his role in Cleveland because the 3-1 comeback, this is for you, is pretty cool. I'll give you that. But I also got to acknowledge that you got packed up by Steph Curry 3 times, Kevin Durant twice. Durant got his lick back on you. So I think Cleveland is also another example of, wow, man, you kind of underachieved with your super team. I'm not calling it a super team to the extent of Miami or the extent of the current Philadelphia team or even to the Warriors. But you got what you wanted. You destroyed a weak Eastern Conference 4 years in a row. Whoop-de-doo. Everyone says, oh my God, he made 10 straight finals. Dog, I do not care when you are beating guys like John Wall, bro. I do not care when you're going toe-to-toe with Victor Oladipo. And it's no diss to those guys, like Kyle Lowry and DeRozan included. It's just no diss to them. But great. You beat mid and got destroyed by good comp each time. The 3-1 comeback is really good though, but you know, I just don't care right now. You are the super team guy. You're the ring chaser. And it's going to go to my next point because we're going to talk about a guy who's a Philadelphia 76ers legend, who was an MVP, who went toe-to-toe with Michael Jordan in the finals, was the best player on the Dream Team. We got Charles Barkley. What did he have to say about this? Well, this is interesting because he has 2 interesting takes. So, like I've been saying, he said he stacked his team in Miami, in Cleveland, in LA, and now he's stacking it in Philly. So I'm going to have the same criticism. He's always stacked his team. And I agree. He has always stacked his team because Barkley, I'm going to omit you because back in the day you did join the Houston super team, but that's not important. But when you got guys that we're going to mention later who didn't need to stack their team to win, that's where I have an issue. And then we're going to go to the next one because he has this is the next part that I wanted to discuss because he did say this. He said, if he wins back-to-back championships and walks away from this thing at 44-45, I'll say something I've never said before. I think I just saw the greatest basketball player ever. And you know what? I don't fully agree or fully disagree because let me put it to you like this. If he goes back-to-back as the guy, damn, bro, I'm still putting MJ over him, but that'll elevate him to second because he's like 3rd, maybe 4th all time for me. But you know what? Fair play to Barkley because Barkley is an NBA legend, and I've never played basketball to that level, obviously, because I'm wearing their jerseys. I'm not wearing my own. But all jokes aside, that's a perspective that's fair. He could have that I just won't have, which is all right. So that's very interesting to me. So what does this really have to do with my GOAT take? Because he said if he's able to stack all his teams, but then win back-to-back in years 24 and 5, he's now the GOAT. So you could play 25 years with stacked teams and only win 6, and you're the best player to ever do it? Well, let's talk about it. Let's look at the Le team because there are guys I'm missing here, but let's talk about it. You have played with Dwayne Wade, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, now Joel Embiid, Chris Bosh, now Jaylen Brown, Kevin Love, now Tyrese Maxey, and then Igalkis. There's also guys on here that aren't even on the list that are worth noting, like Austin Reeves, J.R. Smith, Richard Jefferson, Shaq. Like, you literally played with Shaq. Dwight Howard's another one. You didn't end up, but DeMarcus Cousins did join your team. He just got injured before the season started. I mentioned Derrick Rose earlier, Isaiah Thomas earlier. You played with some of the greatest players that have ever played basketball. The all-time LeBron team genuinely would compete with the remainder all-time NBA team, in my opinion. So while we have the team up here, you might ask yourself, is he a ring chaser? Is he a this? Is he a that? Now, when I look at the team and I think, damn, bro, this is a plethora of stars. Surely he got criticism. Well, he did, but I don't think he gets enough criticism because no one calls him La KD, because what the Ross is the difference between Kevin Durant joining better players than LeBron joining better players? And La KD, like, I don't understand, because we have this tweet coming up here. I don't think it's the exact equivalent. I'll be honest, it's not. But when KD joined the Warriors, it was crazy. And the Warriors talk on Twitter said when KD joined the Warriors, it was framed as ring chasing. But when LeBron joins the 76ers, the narrative switches to winning is the priority, which is exactly correct. Why is that? Because when KD couldn't win with OKC, he made the move to join the 73-9 Warriors to win. And it was called the weakest move. It was called ring chasing. But Kevin Durant's one of the best players of all time. He has not won one since. So it's okay if LeBron goes 6 years without a real championship. 2016 to now 10 years without a real championship, because I'm not counting the bubble. The bubble's like a 0.75. So it's okay for him to do this because it's legacy and it's this and it's that. Well, you know what else we're not going to do? We're not going to compare him to Tom Brady, because a lot of people have been comparing this move by LeBron to when Tom Brady went to the Bucks. So let's also talk about it, because Clutch Sports posted this insane graphic. Yeah, no, this is not comparable at all. When Tom Brady joined the Bucks, they went I think they had 7 wins. Jameis Winston threw 30 interceptions. And Tom Brady joined Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. That's great. But you might be asking yourself, why is Fournette there? Why is AB there? Why is Gronkowski there? Why did they win? Well, because Tom Brady stepped into that system and said, no, we need to change it up. He got Leonard Fournette to join them. He got Gronkowski to join them. He got the play calls to then bring in AB, and they won a Super Bowl. So as much as that is really good from Jason Light, I believe that's the GM, and really good coaching from Bruce Arians and all that John in the middle, Brady was the reason why they won, because he ended up making it his own team. It was the Brady Bucks, Tampa Brady. We were there and they won a Super Bowl. While we have this up, I respect the hell out of Philly for drafting Maxey, for drafting Edgecombe, for drafting Embiid, for signing Jaylen Brown, or trading for Jaylen Brown, sorry. That is what LeBron walked into. Tom Brady didn't walk into Antonio Brown and Leonard Fournette and Gronkowski and amazing offensive play calls. He walked into Mike Evans and friends and said, I'm going to make this my own. So we're not going to compare this to Tom Brady by any means. And I think this move is really different because Tom Brady got kicked out of New England. You chose to leave the Lakers that gave you everything. So we're not going to do this at all by comparing the moves, because that is stupid. That is dumb. And wow, are you stupid? Are you dumb? But no, that is ridiculous. So we're going to do one fun discussion here before we end this episode off, because I feel like this has been really fun. I've had some cool, funny moments and some emotions here. But let's put my notes. We're going to put them on the ground, actually. So let's pull up this next graphic, the final graphic of the day. These are some of the greatest basketball players of all time. From left to right, top to bottom, we got Tim Duncan, Hakeem Olajuwon, Bill Russell, Kobe Bryant, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, obviously LeBron, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Wilt Chamberlain. Now, we're going to go through some of these guys. Let's start with Bill Russell. We'll leave this up, actually, for a little. Let's start with Bill Russell. Well, Bill Russell played for the Celtics and is a one-club legend and won 11 times. Obviously, different era, but fair play. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played for the Milwaukee Bucks and in 69 got drafted and then won it in 71. Now, he was later traded to the Lakers to join Magic Johnson, and they together won 5 championships. Kareem is a 6-time champ. Magic's a 5-time. Magic stayed in the Lakers for his whole entire career. They won in 80, 82, 85, 87, 88, lost a couple finals along the way, and spent his entire career in LA. Larry Bird got drafted in 78, won a championship in 81, 84, and 86, and played for the Celtics his entire career. Let's move on to Hakeem Olajuwon, who no one really gives him the respect he deserves. He won back-to-back championships in 94 and 95. He won MVP, won Defensive Player of the Year, Finals MVP, took a 6th seed, and knocked off Tim Duncan and David Robinson, and went to the finals and won. He ended up, like I said, winning back-to-back, and the reason why he never played out his entire career in Houston is because when he was washed, he ended up joining the Raptors. For all intents and purposes, he is as damn near close to a one-club player as you can be. Tim Duncan, another one. Tim Duncan won 5 championships, okay? Tim Duncan was drafted in 97 and was winning in his 3rd year in 99. He would win in 99, 03, 05, 07 against LeBron, and in 2014 against LeBron. Tim Duncan is a Ray Allen 3 away from going 6-0 in the finals with multiple finals MVPs, multiple MVPs, and yes, one club player. Let's move on to the one and only, the one who LeBron is chasing, Kobe Bean Bryant. He was drafted in 96. He won a three-peat from 2000 to 2002, then back-to-back in 09 and 2010, and just rode it out with the Lakers. Sure, he asked to leave, but that didn't happen, so we're not doing ifs, ands, or buts. We're talking about absolutes, and what's absolute is that he played with Jordan Clarkson, with Josh Hart, with Swaggy P, with Julius Randle. He played with those guys and wanted to win with them, and what did LeBron do? LeBron got rid of them. And just while we're here too, we have to talk about the one and only Michael Jeffrey Jordan, who went 6-0 with Chicago. He only needed me and you to play basketball. He never demanded better players. He never demanded trades and super teams. All he wanted to do was work and win. And in 1989, before he got a chance to knock off the Pistons, he dragged Chicago to Game 7 against the bad boy Pistons, who were going for a back-to-back. And what did his star teammate do? Scottie Pippen, that everyone says is the reason why he is a 6-time champion. Scottie Pippen goes 1 for 10 in those games. What does Michael Jordan do? He goes back to work. He doesn't get rid of Scottie. He doesn't want anyone to get traded. He goes back to work, and the next year they start their legendary run where they knock off the Pistons. They sweep them in the conference finals. Then they beat Magic in the finals, and then go 3 in a row, took a bit of a break, and 3 in a row again. This is what legendary players do. They don't join Dwayne Wade's championships. They don't go back and form a super team with Kyrie Irving. They don't get rid of Kobe's boys for Anthony Davis and win a championship in the bubble. They don't demand trades. They don't leave. They don't demand you get your son on the team. They don't leave for a super team. Greatness is riding it out and winning championships. It's not stat padding night in and night out. It's not playing longer than everyone else and passing the records. It's not telling the world that you are better than everybody that came before you. Greatness is what happens on the basketball court. It's not facilitating it outside. It's not doing a podcast about basketball with your head coach, which is also really lame. It's not demanding the best. It's demanding the ball. It's demanding the court. It's demanding the fans. It's winning games. It's winning championships. And there are more guys that I haven't even mentioned, such as obviously John Havlicek, Larry Bird I mentioned Larry Bird, sorry. Steph Curry's in there. Dirk is in there. Oh, sorry, LeBron. Sorry, LeBron. Dirk's in there as well, who beat LeBron in the finals. Steph Curry has yet to leave Golden State, is still a 4-time champion, okay? He is yet to leave them, no matter how bad it gets. Giannis just left Milwaukee. Giannis got drafted in 2013 and rode it out every year, and they finally won it in 21. Jokic is having one of the greatest 5-year runs ever, and unfortunately, some of his teammates let him down, and he still does not want to leave. He is a 3-time MVP and has won a championship in Denver. Did not demand them to get rid of Jamal Murray, Did not demand them to get rid of Aaron Gordon, to get rid of Hardaway Jr. He wanted to ride them out because he always said, if we could be healthy and play at our best, we win, and that's what they did. That is what legendary players do. That is what greatness is. Greatness isn't winning championships off the back on someone else's accomplishments. It's not joining Dwayne Wade. It's not going back to Cleveland when it matters to you. It's not joining Kobe's team. It's winning on your own front. And I think, unfortunately, whether they win or lose, LeBron James, to me, is not my GOAT no more. I can't support this. I can't list all those great players and list off what they did for one franchise and then compare it to LeBron, who is successful off someone else's back almost every single time. I am grateful that I watched LeBron's career pretty much in its entirety. I'll never forget the LeBronto moments. I'll never forget the 3-1 comeback. I was so happy when it was about damn time and you won. And I'll give you your flowers. You won the Finals MVP with 3 different teams. That is amazing. But we can't sit here and act that, if you don't mind, actually, Megan, if we could pull up the team graphic again, if we could just do this one more quick time, we cannot sit here and act like the following players on the screen that we're about to see, and sorry, just the one of the team, just of all of his teammates. It was a couple photos ago. If we see some of these guys on here, we can't sit here and act like Scottie Pippen is even touching these guys. We can't sit here and act like there are players such as like maybe Pau Gasol, or like other guys such as like Tony Parker, or like, if we want to be technical, go Jamal Murray or Chris Middleton. These are like the second options for some of the guys that I mentioned. We can't even sit here and think that those guys have a seat at this table, and LeBron has played with them all. Shout out Igauskis, though. I don't know if you applied to my logic there. You're like the outlier, and then maybe Maxey as well. But my point is that we can't sit here and act like this brother hasn't played with some of the greatest players of all time. And I think that just will be the ultimate asterisk on his career. And I think, unfortunately, he will not be at that table for me anymore. Speaking of not being at the table anymore, that's going to do it for us today. Oh, man, what an episode. That was fun. That was fiery. Megan, thank you so much for teching. This was a big teching job from Megan today, because I did tell her beforehand it's going to get spicy in here. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Megan. And before you guys do go, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for 200 followers on the Instagram on Justin on the Air. It means a lot. Thank you guys so much for the support. I will say, not to get emotional here, but like anyone that ever comments or reposts or shares or tells me that they like the stuff, it genuinely goes a long way. And I know the specifics, you know who you are, so thank you guys so much for that. And yeah, I could not be here, and I would not continue to do this without the support, because if y'all just didn't care and didn't support me, I would not continue. So I don't care how much I love this, it'll never surpass your guys' love and support for me. So thank you guys so much. We have a big weekend ahead because we got Caravana. It's on it's FNF Friday today. We're gonna be outside tomorrow for Bana and for Tyler, so yeah, you know the vibes there. But you guys enjoy. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think about LeBron's move. Is this weak? Is this good? Is winning priority? Is it KD? Is it Brady? What is it? Because I know what I'm thinking, and I would love to hear your guys' opinions. So with that being said, that's going to do it for us today on Justin's Take. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget you can follow us on social media at DCSA Media Hub, as well as my Instagram at Justin on the Air. And also, breaking news, I'm going to post this on my YouTube, and this will be the first YouTube video that I post in years. So you guys also please subscribe to that as well if this is where you're watching it. So thank you guys so much again. Thank you, Megan, behind the scenes. I've been Justin. This has been Justin's Take, live from the Media Hub on riotradio.ca.